Hello everyone, this is Bobby Blanchard. I'm speaking to you live out of the Texas Tribune's newsroom. We are streaming a press conference we are expecting to get started momentarily here via the at the Governor's Mansion from Governor Greg Abbott, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, and Speaker Dennis Bonnen, newly elected Speaker Dennis Bonnen. There's Greg Abbott. He is coming up right now. If you have any questions, please let us know. Sorry about some slight pixelization we're having right now. Let me see if well, that's looking better. All right, there's Speaker Dennis Bonnen, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. Hey, Uriosa, we don't know what this is going to be about.
Well, good morning, and thank you all for joining us here today. We're here today to send a long, profound, and unequivocal message that the Governor, Lieutenant Governor, and Speaker are working in collaboration together on a very bold agenda that will be transformative for the state of Texas. This is not the first meeting that we three have had here. We met here in December to talk about and to hash out many of the most important issues that we will be addressing this session. That includes us agreeing that this session we're going to solve intractable issues that have been plaguing the state of Texas for decades, going back to last century. That includes reforming our school finance system here in Texas. It includes reforming property taxes here in Texas. Also, it means addressing some more recent issues, which includes helping those who have been victimized by storms and floods and hurricanes. It means working together to address violence in schools and making our schools safer places for our kids. Bottom line, there are a lot of challenges facing our fellow Texans. We are going to work together, work swiftly to make sure we do the business of the people of Texas and address these challenges. With that, I'll pass it to the Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you, Governor. I don't know, you'll have to do the fact-checking in modern history or in history if this has ever happened before. It's a great day for the legislature, a great day for Texas that the Governor, the Lieutenant Governor, and the Speaker of the House are united, that we're working together for the best interest of all Texans. I'm very excited to have Dennis Bonnen as the Speaker. We've had numerous conversations. We're going to get the job done. We're going to work together. We don't know what the final bill is going to look like. The specifics aren't written. That's what the members do. That's what the legislature is for. That's what public testimony is for, to come in and work through these issues. But everyone in Texas knows that we must reduce property taxes. Teachers deserve more money, and we have to address school finance. The last thing I will say is that I've always believed this, and it's happened in the past 4 years that we've been Governor and Lieutenant Governor. If the three of us are aligned that we're going to accomplish a mission and pass legislation, it happens. And if the three of us are aligned that something isn't going to pass, it doesn't happen. So this is not just a message to the public and to the media, but I think our members will take note that this is really unprecedented, that we're addressing these issues beginning a session totally united with one another. And I think we're going to have, and we've had two great sessions, the last two. I think we're going to have the best session we've ever had in the history of the state of Texas in this session.
Thank you, Governor, Lieutenant Governor. Many of you may not know this, but literally from the day I announced I had the votes to be Speaker, the Governor and the Lieutenant Governor have reached out to me from that day forward We've been communicating and we've been discussing the big issues that matter. And we've been talking about how if we are together, as both the governor and lieutenant governor have said, we will succeed. What is obvious is that it is not our job to dictate the terms of the details of reforming school finance and changing our broken Robin Hood school system. It is our job to ensure that we are leading together on those issues, and that we stay together, and in turn our bodies stay together, and we deliver to the governor a bill that he is ready to sign. And so I'm very proud to be here. The eggs were delicious, so I will be here every time that we can. And we had a great visit this morning, but as the governor pointed out, it's not the first visit, it's not the first time we've been in the mansion together, and I appreciate their being so welcoming and receptive to helping me transition into the position of speaker. And we will continue to communicate together, because when people communicate, you solve big problems and you don't let the train fall off the track. And we are all committed to ensuring that communication continues, and we know we must have the success. Thank y'all.
Very good. On the first question, listen, there could always be legislation that will come up. It's nothing that I'm contemplating. Listen, what we want to see, or listen, what I want to see, is for the local school districts to take care of their business, to educate their kids, to prevent failing schools. We are committed to providing the resources that are going to be needed and the strategies that will be needed to make sure that children will be educated adequately, if not superiorly. But we do also expect school districts and their leaders to behave responsibly and to advance their schools appropriately. With regard to what happened with the horrific murder of that 7-year-old girl, we need to understand that one reason for it is because of a plague of the growing problem of gangs and sometimes cartel-related gangs. That's why we have formulated already these Texas anti-gang task forces. One of the first ones that we created that I announced about a year and a half ago was in Houston, where the state works collaboratively with the local level and the federal level to identify these gang members and to use strategies to track down and arrest these gang members. We see an increase in these gang members not just in Houston, but across the entire state of Texas, which is why during my campaign I announced the need to fund 2 more Texas anti-gang centers to make sure every community across the entire state of Texas is going to be able to get rid of these horrific, murderous gang members.
Jack Fink. Good morning. I wanted to know if you agree with the Texas Commission's report on school finance, which calls for reallocating money and for injecting new money into public schools. And given the biennium report now from the Texas Comptroller, do you think there is enough money to reduce the impact on property taxpayers and inject new money into public schools?
Well, under the plan that I've articulated in the past on the property tax side, one thing that it would do would be to reduce the amount of recapture or Robin Hood. But also with regard to school funding, we do want to provide more funding for schools, but we don't want to just throw money at the schools. We want to use strategies that have proven to provide results. You're from Dallas. You know about what's happened in the Dallas area and the Dallas Independent School Districts, where money was allocated that increased teacher pay for the teachers who are delivering good results. And we want to see those same types of results replicated in other parts of the state of Texas. I can't speak for the other people here, but I think they agree that we want to increase teacher pay in the state of Texas. We want to reward our teachers, especially those who are delivering results, and we want to address the teacher retirement system. And so we're all very interested in all of these issues, making sure that education is going to be one of the first and foremost issues we address. We improve education, including improving teacher pay. Sure, go ahead.
Jack, and this isn't a new conversation. We began talking about this last session and the special session. But I think there's a unanimous voice now that next to the parent, the most important part of a child's education is the teacher. And today, only 32% of the $60 billion a year we spend on education is spent on teachers. Now, it may go to other things in the classroom, but it's the teacher that we must elevate their base pay, put incentives in there, and encourage them to also go into schools where we need better teachers, or in grades where we need more focus. We need more math teachers, more science teachers, more elementary teachers, more reading teachers. So I think this is the session of teachers and the session of education, the session of lowering property taxes, and all of the other issues that we've addressed, continuing to secure the border, continuing to fund transportation, all of these other issues. This is going to be a great session, and I think everyone is very serious about taking on these issues.
The issue of school finance is the issue of this session. And you can't talk about school finance and not talk about doing better for our teachers. One of the things that the three of us discussed in December in this beautiful home with the governor was that we have got to stop having stories happen that I have lived. Friends of mine are teachers, and they tell me to make more money, I'm now going to become an administrator. We all agree that the path to more money in education should not be out of the classroom. We must keep the best teachers in the classroom and not punish them by not allowing them to make more without going to administration. So teachers will be the focus. They deserve and should be paid more because our children deserve for them to be paid more, and to incentivize the opportunity for the best ones to stay in that classroom with our children.
This purpose of this press conference is to talk about the session and the three of us working together. It was a very late ask, and it was a tough judgment call, but when the White House calls, you respond, and Jane did a terrific job, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm the Lieutenant Governor of Texas as long as I can be.
Now, you know I'm not going to tell you today what the emergency items are going to be. It could be something involving the news media or something like that.
Two more, Julie Fine, and then Rudy.
Oh, we have a special visitor.
Awesome.
Hey, who let the dogs out?
This is our newest puppy, Peaches. If you want to have fun with her, start throwing the ball. You'll never leave.
Julie Fine, you want to go?
Real quick, we've heard property tax reform, we've heard property tax relief, school finance reform in sessions in the past. Why is this the session where you believe it will get done?
Two reasons. One is that most of us just came off of the campaign trail. As I talked to people from Amarillo to Laredo and parts in between, there was two things I heard repeatedly in every community, large and small. Governor, our property taxes are too high. You have to do something to reform the property tax system. Governor, we need to do more to fund education. I heard it. I know everybody on the ballot heard it. And so we come to session this particular year with a voter mandate that we address these issues. The second reason is because we have spent the time doing the work to get prepared for this. It's not as if we're beginning today or next week. It's not as if we begin in December when the three of us met. Because of the School Finance Commission, this is a project that's been worked on very aggressively for more than a year now, with the input from both the House and the Senate and the governor's office. And so this is something that we have been getting prepared for, understanding the mandate from the public. And it's not something that we're going to get done, it's something we have to get done.
Rudy Koski, last question.
Mr. Speaker, Lieutenant Governor, the governor has said that the two chambers voted to remove the flag for the children of those
Rudy, if I could bring you up to date, this is an issue that's on the agenda for the State Preservation Board later this week.
And one follow-up. Yes. Lieutenant Governor, there's been big questions as to whether or not the regulating of bathrooms will be on the Senate agenda this year. Do we plan on having that legislation carried by Senate?
When you win the battle, you don't have to fight the battle again. The truth is, the purpose of that legislation was to stop school districts from forcing boys and girls to share showers and locker rooms, and that stopped. That issue, the people have spoken loudly and clearly, and sometimes a bill doesn't pass, but you win on the issue. And it was clear where the people were in Texas as they learned more on the issue. So it wasn't a frivolous issue. It wasn't a controversial issue. It was something that parents really cared about their school kids, and many women cared about. And I think it's been settled, and I think we've won. And the people who want to keep talking about it just want to stir up the past.
All right. Thank you all very much.
Thank you all.
Where's Peaches? Where's the dog?
Governor.
All right, everybody. Hi, this is Bobby Blanchard. I'm Texas Tribune's social media editor. What you just saw was a press conference from Greg Abbott, Dan Patrick, and Dennis Bonnen, what we call the Big Three, so to speak here. They are the Big Three officials kind of in charge of the state government, and they're very important officials in terms of passing laws and getting things done in the state capitol. One of the things you saw there was Governor Greg Abbott was not yet ready to say what his emergency items would be for the session. However, there was a lot of discussion about property tax reform and school finance. And we have been hearing for a very long time that we expect those issues to be the big issues of the session. Doesn't mean it'll be the only issues. Doesn't mean it'll be something that comes along as a surprise. But we largely expect that to be sort of the big issues. What you also saw today was Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick was asked about the bathroom bill, and he essentially said that that was a battle he already won, and there was no need to fight it again. So we really do not expect the bathroom bill to come up in any sort of meaningful way this session, it sounds like. That could be wrong. We could be surprised. But that is as things stand currently. You also saw the Lieutenant Governor asked about his trip to D.C. yesterday. He didn't say much about it, but we expect him to be in McAllen with Trump tomorrow morning, or sometime tomorrow. I'm not sure if it's in the morning or not. If you have any questions about that or about this session, let me know. I see a question about Robinhood. I don't know if there have been any bills about Robinhood yet. I'm not quite that deep in the weeds yet, unfortunately. I would follow Aaliyah Swaby on Twitter. She will be keeping you updated on all things school finance. I imagine Robinhood will be discussed a lot this session because that is a major way that schools get funded in Texas. But I don't know quite just yet what is being discussed around it. If you have any questions, let us know. I will be signing off momentarily otherwise. Okay, I don't think there are any more questions, so I'm going to sign off. A couple of reminders. We talked about this press conference in our morning newsletter called The Brief. If you want to get The Brief, you really should. It's a great product. It'll keep you up to date on what you need to know about the state legislature every single weekday. It arrives at 6:30 a.m. in your inbox. It's a really amazing product. You should get it. It does a lot for you and it keeps you informed. Beneath me, or to the side of me, depending on how you're watching. That way, depending on how you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter right now. You should really get that. You can also go to texastribune.org/subscribe, and you will be able to get the brief there. We are also a nonprofit, nonpartisan news organization. We depend on member support to support the journalism that we do. If you want to give a contribution today, please go to support.texastribune.org. That's everything from us. The House will be adjourning at noon. The Senate will be adjourning the House will be adjourning at 10. The Senate will be adjourning at noon. You can watch those live streams at texastribune.org. Thanks so much and have a great day. Bye-bye, guys.